Hello.
And to you, good day.
Well, I really just wanted to share a bit of humorous synchronicity, if you will.
Oh, all right. Is it relevant to what we have been discussing?
Yes.
All right.
Closer? Okay. Yesterday, you may recall, when I sat down, I addressed you as Bizarre instead of Bashar.
Yes.
And last night, when I was back in my room flipping through the TV channels, I came across an episode of Cops, something I don't normally watch.
Cops.
But, yes.
All right.
And so as they were going to commercial, this particular one the title said, Cops, Bizarre Calls.
Yes.
So
So you had a very bizarre day yesterday.
I had a very bizarre day, very much.
All
and
right.
I'm having a fabulous time, and I just wanted to share that with you. And thank you very much.
Well, thank you.
All of this fabulous information that is
Thank you for generating your own
me greatly.
synchronicities as well.
Thank you, Bashar. I got it right that time.
And you got it left.
One more.
All right.
Hey, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
Good day. Yesterday we were talking about beliefs and emotions, and,
Yes.
and then a separate subject of motivation.
Yes.
And on the way here this morning, and actually also yesterday morning, as I was driving to get here, and April was expecting me, and I was running late, and the faster I'd try to go, the later I would get, and I was getting angry.
So the more you ran, the more you stayed in the same place.
But not only that,
All
yes,
right.
not only that, the anger that came up because I was trying so hard and I didn't
Yes.
want to disappoint her. And
Yes.
the anger that came up was compelling me in a sense. The anger was in control.
Yes.
And I was cussing at drivers.
Oh,
and
all right.
you know,
How exciting.
Okay, all this stuff. So maybe for you, but not for them. So on the
Well, you
way
don't know that for a fact, but go on.
Well, yeah, you're right. But this morning it was very interesting because after taking that information in from yesterday,
Yes.
I went, okay, where did I choose to
Oh, you mean you
operate?
paused?
I did.
Oh, thank
I
you.
paused. Thank you, and thank you for reminding me that I paused.
Yes.
I paused and I went, okay, where did I choose to operate in this manner?
All
Where
right.
did I choose to go into
Yes.
this anger? And I asked myself the question, and then maybe 5 minutes later, what came up was that when I was in the womb, I had a twin, and the twin died, and it was
All
an
right.
extremely traumatic experience that I've done a lot of work with, a lot of layers there.
All right.
And what I got in touch with was my choice as she was dying, and I was sure that I was going to go with her.
All right.
That I decided and made a strong choice, and I hope I don't cry here because
You can cry if you wish.
I made a strong choice to get really angry, to call forth all the anger that I could in myself to stay alive.
All right.
And there was this thought in myself: if I can feel the anger, I'm still alive.
All
and
right.
therefore, from moment to moment, I can, in a sense, push myself forward and be alive.
Well, very creative.
Yeah, it was creative, except
Except
I mean,
now
it
you're
works.
getting tired of it.
Exactly. So
Because I
went,
think by now you've probably caught on to the fact that you're alive.
yeah, I'm continuing. But here's the question: as she and me made that decision,
Yes.
and is directly motivated, is directly around the motivation for moving forward in life as well, and because
Yes.
I've noticed the pattern
Yes.
very deeply ingrained in myself.
All right. Very good.
And so as I realized that, I went, God, that's where my determination is so strong in life, is from her in
right.
that choice. And I thanked her
For propelling you
for
forward
propelling
in
me
life.
and for in a sense, who knows, maybe she saved my life.
You were both a classic example of a physics experiment. For every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. So for her, going back into spirit, it pushed you that much harder forward into physical reality.
Interesting. Interesting.
Two eternally connected particles spinning off in two directions, always connected no matter how far apart, because space and time are an illusion. So you are exhibiting the idea of quantum connectedness with your twin.
Oh, wow, that clears up a lot on that. Woo. Now here's the final. Here's the question.
Yes.
That was a very strong decision with a lot of power behind it on her part.
Yes.
And it
in
has,
essence, she actually kicked you into physical reality.
My prenatal self, you're saying, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right. So, and I explained to her on the drive here that determination is very powerful and very wonderful and does not have to be motivated by anger. That you know, here's an
Excuse
opportunity.
me.
Yeah.
I don't mean to interrupt you, and I know it doesn't show in the channel's body, but I and several others are laughing very strongly right now. Because you said you explained it to her. In actual fact, she explained it to you. But it came through your mouth as a reflection of the fact that you realized it was being explained to you, and so you explained it back. So she could make sure you got it.
Oh, so she's like being that reflection until I get it, right?
Yes.
She's being that as the service, not as a dummy.
Yes.
God, who's the dummy here? That's really
And who's the ventriloquist?
This is great. This is great. Right. Okay. Where's Jenny? We used to have these monkeys that hung around your neck, and we thought that we were the ventriloquists, but they were really powerful beings, these monkeys. Okay, here's the question about shifting this energy now.
Oh, I want to tell you a secret now.
Okay.
You referred to the idea of these monkey puppets that you've hung around your neck.
Yes.
And using your imagination that they are actually living beings capable of talking. And here is the classic secret of the idea of ventriloquism and a ventriloquist's dummy. In many cases, obviously, those things are actually devices and tools that allow your higher self to say things that you as a person in your reality would never dare to say.
Right.
But they actually are saying things that often are really coming from not only your higher self, but your guides, other spirit friends, and so forth.
And they had this cute little face, and people would just light up like a Christmas tree.
Because it comes in a format they can accept, because in your terminology, it's non-threatening and they can trust it.
Yes. It was
because it doesn't
thing.
have an agenda.
Right. Just sharing love.
Yes.
Just sharing love. Which brings me to the question of now this energy that has been deeply patterned, and now I'm seeing it, understanding it, and going, okay.
And now you understand that if you're seeing the pattern, you don't have it anymore?
I understand that you said that yesterday. I haven't.
All right. Well, let that be a beginning.
Yes.
Do you understand the principle? It's similar to the idea of the forest for the trees saying that you have on your planet. Mm-hmm. For you to actually see the forest, you have to be standing outside of it.
Right.
Otherwise, you don't see it as a forest. You only see the trees. If you see it as a pattern, you don't have it anymore. You have to be beyond the pattern to recognize it as a pattern.
Okay, but here's the rub.
Oh, the rub. All right.
Rub. I've seen it as a pattern for quite some time, but I had not gotten down to this moment in time where I saw that I could deal with it in this part of that in a different way.
Yes.
And we're talking about motivation. And the motivation is my real question, because that's even, in a sense, more important, is changing the motivation rather from anger motivated, which I'm this wonderful spirit, but don't cross me because I'm going to get violently angry if you get in my way.
Ooh. Ooh, you are so scary.
And it's been a pattern that I've struggled with for a long, long time. So it's very
That's because you believe
me.
it serves you. When you understand that's the motivation for hanging on to it, and you realize that you don't need that to serve you, but that something else can serve you even more strongly, you will change the motivation automatically and let the old idea go. The
Well, my head
motivation,
says it.
the motivation is not the anger. The motivation is what you believe the anger is doing for you.
Helping me survive.
Yes. Now that you've got a handle on surviving, you don't need the anger in that sense to allow you to continue to survive. You're beginning to recognize that you need to feed yourself something more nourishing.
Absolutely.
In order to survive. And now you're starting to recognize what that nourishment is, and that it's love and not anger.
Right.
The
Right.
anger in that sense is your justification for being, and you needed that to justify the idea of maintaining your existence in physical reality. But now, as you say, it's old hat.
Yes.
So now you're recognizing that you're wearing that out and that your motivation needs to be recalibrated. And the motivation then needs to be attached to the idea that something else actually sustains you more fully.
Yes.
And that is the idea of love.
Yes.
Self-love, expressions of love, however you wish to phrase it. Creativity, excitement, joy.
Absolutely. Yes.
So you are making that shift.
Okay. So then just by then you're saying to more and more change that.
By the way, it is no
Reinforce it.
accident that you have this revelation while driving your car, because it's a sign that you need to shift gears.
Right. And the vehicle of my moving forward and
very
moving
good.
around. It's absolutely.
And that if you do shift gears and understand that you're in a different vehicle, then you will be on a freer way to move. And there will be no traffic in that sense.
Thank you very much.
No jam. You understand?
Yes, I do.
Maybe jelly, but no jam.
Yes, I do. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Now then, let us move forward with the discussion and a deeper explanation of the oversoul idea and the soul blueprint idea, as was brought up yesterday of your time with regard to familial relations and how that keys into your soul blueprint pattern. You can look at the chart that was created that has the all that is, oversoul, and individual soul, and the four quadrants of ideas and themes that make up the concept of your soul blueprint pattern. Now, of course, yesterday we talked about the idea of the pie chart and how all of the different energies that you have brought with you on your journey from different systems, different lives, and so forth, create this pie chart that has different degrees of different vibrations making it up, even though you all contain the same basic energies. It's in different proportions according to what you are connecting to, what you're focusing on, what serves you best in this particular lifetime. But now, you can also see that what you're bringing to bear, more specifically within all this, are things that have to do with familial, family, soul group relationships, ideas of so-called agreements that you may be making, in some senses such as we actually just examined, because the idea of the twin, where one dies and one lives, is a perfect representation of a soul agreement within a soul family. The idea being that I will ensure that you will be firmly anchored in this physical reality in the way that will serve you best for the theme that you're going to explore, by kicking you into this reality, by moving out of it myself and giving you all the momentum. That's a soul agreement between a soul family group member and another. Many different kinds of agreements are made in this way to be of service and assistance to one another, to provide for the other what the other may need to experience in that life, what it is they need to experience, so that they can best serve out their theme of choice. And it is done many different ways. But this is definitely one of the things that is included in the overall patterns, so to speak, of your soul blueprint, are these soul family agreements. And they are very personal in that sense, in that you have true familiarity with many of these other souls, individual souls, and have had many different kinds of life experiences, speaking linearly, and have played many different parts different literal family members sometimes being each other's spouses, sometimes being children, brothers, sisters, friends, other relations, mentors, students. You have all, at this point, done it all in that context on earth. You've all played all the roles, and now you're playing the role where all the roles come together and are integrated in a manner that allows you to be of best assistance in serving the theme of being on earth in its primary transition phase, from one level of reality to another, from third density to fourth density transition. That's the general theme you're all playing out, even though obviously you have your own individual themes as part and parcel of helping in the overall transitional theme. Because each and every one of you that becomes more aware of your soul family group agreements, the themes you have chosen to experience in this life, and the more aware you become of how to allow yourself to express those things fully through following your joy and being the fullest self you possibly can be, it adds to the overall momentum and the overall energy of Earth's capability to transition in a positive and harmonious way for those that will ride that wave. So, also you can see in that chart the idea of what might be referred to as random acts. Now, this does not mean accidents. There is no such thing as an accident. But it does mean random act in the sense that you have freedom to choose. There are many probabilities that you could choose from in order to decide how to experience your theme at any given moment. And we have used the analogy of walking down a hallway to describe or illustrate the concept of living out a theme. In other words, you may decide that a certain hallway is what you will walk down in life, and that may not change and may seem in some senses like destiny, but it's very loosely described as a theme. But how you walk down that hallway is up to your free will, your freedom to choose. The idea of random probabilities that you could attract to yourself to express the idea of your theme in a number of different kinds of situations and conditions and interactions and relationships. So random acts still plays a very big part in the idea of how you play out your soul blueprint. You leave yourself open, in other words, for the possibility of doing it in any number of different ways. And that allows there to be the variety that is the spice of life, as you say. The acknowledgement of true uniqueness and difference in all of you, in living out your similar themes in a variety, such a variety of different ways that it adds to the complexity and richness of all that is in terms of all the ways it can experience itself going through even one particular kind of transitional theme. So random acts are very important to allow there to be seemingly an open-endedness to the ability and how it is you experience the idea of your soul blueprint. Again, it isn't accidental. No more so than the idea of what you call, let's say, gambling on your planet. If you spin a wheel and are looking to place money on a certain number, you understand that the way that the numbers come up may be random, but it's no accident that the wheel is spinning because you spun it. So that's a way to look at the idea of randomness and understand that it has nothing to do with the concept of accident in the sense that these two things really have no connection or have nothing to do with each other. There is no such thing. It's all an orchestration, but the orchestration may be hidden so that you can experience in the act of creation the true moment of creation and the randomness of it, the savoring of the randomness of that true moment of creation. The mechanism of creation itself is brought about by the very concept of randomness. And so you include that also in your soul blueprint, that you can express yourself in any number of ways and still accomplish the same theme. Now, in the family groups and in all the other things that are on that chart, again, it really just has to do with understanding that when you choose to experience physical reality, you do sort of crystallize yourself into a personality construct. And that personality construct acts as a translation device through which the amalgamation of all of this soul blueprint energy and energy from the source is expressed. And in expressing it through that prism, of the personality, the three-sided personality of definitions and emotions and behavior. In expressing itself through that, it determines exactly what kind of a spectrum in life that you see, what kind of an experience that you have. And this takes us back to the reality generation circuit. So, again, these charts are designed, all of them are designed, as actual meditational tools so that you can focus your consciousness, focus your imagination on the configuration that is outlined in these charts. Not that it needs to be infinitely explained in every detail, but that you yourself, using your imagination when you focus on them, when you read them, when you look at their layout, when you look at their configuration, when you look at what the symbols might mean to you in terms of the meaning you have given them, they can, in a sense, be reflections to you, mirrors to you, that will put you in touch with these different aspects of your consciousness, both on the physical personality level and on the soul blueprint level and on the oversoul level and on your connection to source or whatever level you wish to look at it from. These charts, in a sense, are, shall we say, like unto mandalas in a way. They are like unto spells in a way. They are like unto arrangements or patterns or matrices of energy in a way that represent an interface between different levels of you as a person on earth and different levels on which you exist in other realms as well, other dimensions, physical and non-physical. So use them in that way. And let your imagination be your guide. This is why they have been created for you as a tool, why they have been designed for you as a tool. Anytime you find yourself feeling a little bit lost, feeling a little bit off your so-called path, use these tools. They're very strong tools. And when you allow yourself to experience them, from that moment of pause, from that moment of neutrality, in that state of being, they will be very strong and effective tools to illuminate in your imagination certain aspects that you need to look at that will be the things you need to process, the things you need to integrate to move even farther forward on your journey of self-integration, of soul growth. Does this make sense to you? All right. Now, one moment.